Hi Stitchers! Today I'm going to be answering your questions, and for the last few videos I've been putting down in the comments asking you guys to ask your questions, so here they are. Most of them are from YouTube. Some of them have come from other places like Reddit and Tumblr and wherever else people have been asking me questions. So let's go ahead and just jump right into them.
What do you have your cloth bolted to?
So what I have my fabric attached to is called stretcher bars, and they use just these simple little tacks that attach the fabric to the bars. They're kind of damaging to the fabric, so you want to make sure you have a lot more fabric than you really need. I've talked about these a little bit in the past, and I will be doing a full video on them hopefully next Wednesday, but filming the video for this has been surprisingly tricky, just trying to figure out how to get everything set up and framed and where it needs to be. So hopefully I'll be able to get a little bit more into depth into that, but they're just these bars that come in a variety of sizes, and you can fit them together to make a whole bunch of different rectangular and square shapes, and I like them because it keeps the tension a lot more even than a lot of hoops or other frames do. So hopefully I'll be able to actually talk a lot more about them next week.
The parking method must, depending on where you have to park, but say when you've done the spade on the fourth grid down, surely must leave a very long line of thread on the back.
So the way that I do my parking is I will only skip up to a complete solid 10 by 10 block. I will either go into that one or I will go into the very next one. It does leave a little bit of a trail of thread, but at 18 count fabric, that's not a very long thread. At the most, it's about 1.5 inches. And that's going to get buried really quickly, but if it goes any farther than that, I don't really like to drag the thread all that farther because it does leave a really long tail and then it can cause problems. But if it's going to be about 1.5 inches to at the most, it won't really matter either way.
As long as you turn your frame 180 degrees, top of the image becomes bottom and bottom becomes top, your top and bottom legs of your stitches will still be in their proper alignment. You could turn the piece so that you are working closer to your body. It might mess up your filming, but you won't strain your muscles.
So, I have tried that. The thing about the pattern set that I use and the symbol set is that a lot of them are mirrored and rotated, so that if I turn the pattern upside down, those symbols won't change, and I will use the wrong colors. I actually did try that for about 30 seconds and promptly made a mistake. Because when I'm working with 120 different colors, I can't really remember, oh yes, this is one of the ones that also mirrors, so I need to then re-mirror that in my head. It's just a little bit easier to work in shorter bursts at a time and get to it when I'm not feeling completely strained.
What is the technique you used with the floss? I'm having a hard time understanding, but it does look cool.
So the technique that I used for the Hippo Tang was I was using some over-dyed floss, and I was using pieces of the floss from different parts of the skein, and I want to say I was using 4 strands for that. So it was all kind of more of a blended blue. It's the same as when you use 2 different colors of floss, only in this case all of the colors were on the same strand of floss. And you can see a lot more about that particular method that I use in my variegated floss video, which I will link to at the end.
Is your hair hot pink by Manic Panic? It looks so much like the color I use.
It's not Manic Panic anyway, and I was just recently told that apparently they may or may not be going out of business, or maybe it was one of their storefronts. I'm gonna have to look into that, but no. The pink that I have in my hair right now is the color that they use at the salon that I go to. I'm not actually sure what brand it is. All I know is that it smells really strongly of some kind of fruit or berry or something for like the first couple of days, and then that smell goes away once I wash it, but I don't know what brand it is. It's just whatever they have at the salon I go to.
Very cool. I'm curious, how do you film these videos? What does the setup look like?
So I have got the most jankiest cobbled together setup on the planet. I've got a very cheap floor stand that has been re-put together with wood glue and bolts that I had to go get from the hardware store because all of the ones that came with it were stripped down. And it's mostly just half of a rod from a very nasty scroll frame, and I've twist-tied my webcam to it. And I've done a video about that one. I will link to that down below as well so that you can actually see exactly how it works, but it's just a very short rod that's tied as tightly to the frame as possible that keeps the camera very still, so that whenever I'm moving the frame around, the camera doesn't want to move at all, and that gives you a really nice steady image for however long you need to film, so there's no need to worry about any kind of movement of the camera. And then behind me, I might even be able to, nope, it's over there. And then behind me, that shines right over my shoulder, it's over here on my stitching chair, I have got an articulated desk lamp that's been kind of taped down to the table, and it's got a second shade on it to keep the light focused exactly where I want it, and that keeps all of the shadows from around the room off of the fabric and just gives me nice even lighting no matter what I've got going on near me, because the light is focused straight down on the fabric.
What does the back look like when you do the stitch at a time method?
It depends on how you stitch. Depending on how you lay your stitches, you can either get the kind of single railroad kind of looking stitches that you get from doing one at a time, or you can get like this more of an almost full coverage look with these little V's going across the back. It really just depends on how you chase your stitch going from one angle to the other. It kind of goes either way. Sometimes it goes both ways, just depending on how you go. The only way to really, I guess, get a feel for it is to try it out. There are, like every other way, different ways to lay your stitches, and if you don't like one way, you can try another. So that was it for this time. I will be doing another one of these Q&As the last Sunday of May, and I'll be doing them, should be doing them every other month. So if you have any questions, put them down in the comments, put them on my discussion tab, and I will get to them, and hopefully I'll be able to even answer them into the video. But until then, I will see you next time. Bye!